Michael. Number 7, Kosangi William. Number 8, Grebongo Johan. Number 9, Koyombo Privat. Number 10, Pewe Saine. Number 11, Roy Eddie Yuan. Number 12, Febo Severine. Number 13, Kugene Max. Number 14, Jede Mabada Philip. And number 15, Jimrabaye Jimmy. Name of the coach, Gaben Isidore Marida. And the name of the referee, Mustafa from Egypt. Babakar Gueye from Senegal. And Mr. Sami from Tunisia. Name of the commissary, Mr. Cheikh Tidiane Dofounou du Senegal. We're gonna get into the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, Uganda, au stade tout le monde debout, on va passer à l'hymne national des pays. Merci. Uganda. Merci, thank you. L'hymne national de la Centrafrique. C'était l'hymne national de la Centrafrique.
Well, they're in Turkey, in Istanbul, for the round of the last 16 in EuroBasket. And France are out, beaten by the Germans, as we look back at highlights from the first quarter here of the second game of the second day here in Senegal of FIBA AfroBasket 2017. And Uganda just haven't quite found their feet, and Central African Republic have just been a little more alive, aggressive, attacking. I mean, you think of Rabongo taking it to the basket on numerous occasions, and that's really been the difference so far.
It really has, and the referees have been rewarding aggressive takes to the basket throughout this tournament, and we'll see just how much longer Uganda is going to recognize that. It looks like there's once again another foul there. That's going to be on number 14, Kong. But really, just more than anything we're seeing right now is the Central African Republic. Uganda is down not by a lack of skill in any means whatsoever. It really has more to do with just the fact that, as you said, Dan, they just came out a little bit more alive and attacking and being more aggressive and not settling for mid-range jumpers.
Samedi. Here's Babu now. He goes inside to Jimrabe. Babu fakes the three, puts it on the floor, takes a tough mid-range shot. Tremendous box out. He bounces twice before anybody gets it. You don't see that very often. City has it. And Daba forward. Money attack underneath with the spin. Doesn't get the roll. City fires up for three. He had a couple of sighters in the first quarter, and there's his first make here in the second.
The City was a huge factor in that fourth quarter against Angola. The old steady veteran. See if he can try and get Uganda going here now.
And a reply of a three from Kasangi.
And Kasangi staring down the Ugandan bench for a minute there, saying, we're not going anywhere.
One turns the corner, takes it to the finger roll. Too much on that. With the rebound.
You have to have that soft touch at the rim there. It's such a hard move to make when you're going so hard to the basket, and then at the very last second you have to kind of just slow your brain down a second and give it a nice little spin.
Samedi. Shot clock getting low, so it goes up, and the rebound pulled in by Kalwanyi.
I actually don't mind that shot there, as long as he went up and he knew exactly where to try and kiss it off the glass. Just a little bit too much on it.
Well, he's left alone, and he doesn't make the shot, but the ball comes out for an offensive rebound. Good pass, but it's just right through the hands of Kalwani, or was it deflected?
That looked like it was deflected there, and once again, that's just a testament to the active hands of Central African Republic. Dijam Rabai was right there, just at the last second, able to get his hand in there. Excellent defense from the CAR.
And Kong, as you see, sitting down, so two the other way is Jim Rabai. Marnie throws it in, a City. Off the glass, it needed a double kiss, but it goes in. Kasangi. Babu comes back to offer some help. I think he's calling for a screen, is he? And Sambi running the baseline. That's a tough shot in the corner, but it's a good one from Ngoy.
And Ngoy, that's the first made shot for him. First shot of the game.
Omani driving in, lays it in.
That's it, though. Central African Republic. We saw this a lot in the last game yesterday, too. Every time they make a big shot, they seem to give one up right back. Have to try and limit that, allow themselves to get on a bit of a run here, maybe create some space on the scoreboard.
Somebody penetrates in, and the shot doesn't go for Nevada.
Got to make that one wide open. It's just you and the rim.
And attacking all the way is Enabu, but he can't finish strongly enough with the left hand. Travel and Goy put it down. He just replays it to the referee, but that's not what you did first time round.
Trying to plead his case. Yeah, you see, just took just a slight step on the explosion. Sometimes you're moving so fast you don't realize what you're doing.
Not me. Substitution sees a modest sit
Being
down.
too modest.
Yeah, you've not seen me. Enabu crosses the line, and there's a Pong shot, but it doesn't go.
Pong trying to get something started here, coming off.
Well, he had 8 points early on, but he's not scored in a while. Somebody penetrates in, finds a way through, but his shot is too hard. No Tim pushing. Nabu hands it back to Ositi. Ositi under all sorts of pressure finds the string.
There's a City. And you can see he's a frustrating person to guard. I mean, just every single shot he takes, there always seems to be a hand in his face, and it's just, he just doesn't see it. It's just him and the rim. It's like the hands are invisible to him. Just finds it off. Here's the veteran, just creates just a little bit of space. He knows that he's going to get it up in time. Excellent stroke. I mean, what more can you say about him? Every big shot that they've ever needed from him, he's been able to deliver.
Well, Uganda trailing now by 2, 21-23. We're just past 4 minutes into the second quarter of this game in Group B of FIBA AfroBasket 2017. Both teams sitting on 0-1 records. Bongo, as you can see, doing the damage for the Central Africans with his numbers there, 8 and 5. And the other way, Apong with 8 early on.
He's been held scoreless in the second quarter.
Well, one of them's going to win this game, and I'm assuming they're going to be rooting for Angola later on. I don't know, I suppose it doesn't matter which of Angola and Morocco wins. You've got to win your next game if you want to get through as well. In all likelihood, you're going to need 2 wins. Three-point shot doesn't go for Kasangri. Easy rebound for the City.
And here's Uganda's opportunity to take a lead for the first time now in a meaningful way.
He's under pressure, almost loses the ball, gets it back, drives in. He said, I've had enough. Oh, he's missed it though. It was like he said, I've had enough of this defense, I'm taking it in, but the rim denied him.
I'm sure Central African Republic, as there's a foul now called defensively on Apong, they're going to have to make a mental note of that when he's at the top of the key. Don't allow him to put it on the floor, because if he gets a full head of steam, they got away with one there with him missing. He does not usually miss those layups.
Certainly not. First foul called on Apong. He's lobbed into Ngoy. Yeah, gets it on, and now it's in the low post with Mbada. Trying to find some space. Shots blocked. Behind the back pass from Otim allows Anabu to get out and running.
Great
There's
find.
Tim wide open underneath. He's missed a close one as well. 2 chances in a row to tie the game for Uganda, and they've blown them both.
They're going to need a stop now more than anything. It looks like they've got about a 2-3 zone in motion right now.
And there's a 3 that makes you pay.
Yep.
Kugea hits it, and 2 blown layups that could have tied the game. They're down 5.
Yeah, that's just his second made shot, but they're both 3-pointers.
Pong looking for some space. Tim has it now. Tim steps back to reply with a triple. He thought he had the rebound, but Kugea was there to snatch it away from him.
Not a bad decision, though, when you consider the fact he saw 2 green shirts, which he knew meant that Kugea was going to be open down there for a possible rebound, which he was.
Kugea, oh, he was miles off the mark. It's still in bounds, but the shot clock, oh, terrible pass as well. And a chance for Uganda to break through Pong. And he got his body in the way and made sure that he's going to the line.
You know, Pong, you have to respect his tenacity to try and go to the basket every time, but if he had just taken a quick look up, he would have seen Anabu cutting down towards the basket. As you see this shot here from Kugea, that's, like I said earlier, just his second made shot, and here it is on the fast break. He's going up, and you can't see it, but if you look at the last second there in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, Anabu was right there to receive a pass with no one in front of him. It's just those little things you see consistently over and over which can be the difference between a quick basket, get back on defense. But the good side of it, of course, is that Apong now has got a chance to go to the free throw line. He's gotten one of his opponents in another foul.
He's into double figures now with 10.
He's a scorer, though. He's going to take it to the rim every single time. The only reason you even think to make that other pass and not get the foul is just because all the teams in this tournament so far has been kind of struggling from the free throw line.
Cross court. Kugea has it now. Kugea into the finger roll. Rebound, Okela. Nabu for 3.
Nabu had a foot on the line there, though. Once again, just have to be just a little bit more aware of where you are on the floor. Otherwise, that's just a very low percentage shot for no extra credit.
Kugea drives in. And backs out. Shot clock down to 6, so he takes the 3 and it's off the rim, but Ngoy with the rebound, they get another go at it. Kugea, great head fake, got his man in the air. Misses the shot, but there's a foul on Opong as he came in for the rebound, just levered his man out of the way.
Opong. Not the start he was necessarily hoping for in the sense of how many free shots he's kind of missed, but regardless, showing a little frustration there, shoving the defender in midair, trying to get the rebound. You don't want one of your better players catching a foul like that.
Kugea, ooh, not a great pass, but a decent catch for Kansangri, and he takes it all the way to the basket. Great effort from him.
What a finish there. Making something out of nothing, completely off balance, almost nearly with his back to the basket when he got it, but then resets himself and then gets it. And that's, once again, that's one of those kind of plays that yesterday Uganda would have been all over when he lost his balance, but instead they let their opponent regain his balance and just go right to the hoop. You have to take every advantage you can get when you're down in a game like this. You have to try and make your own luck, if you will, Dan.
Well, he certainly made his own luck there, because actually, for all the world, it looked like it was going to be a turnover, and he turned it into 2 points. Well, Opong is left open. You don't want to do that. Sangri gets the rebound, trying to kick it out. There are 2 of them there to break up the pass, and Uganda can go the other way. Hong shot doesn't go.
Kong, once again, you're seeing Uganda settle for these three-point shots with a whole bunch of green shirts under the rim. Not exactly the kind of offense you want to run right now when you're down by 5. This isn't really the time to start trying to shoot your way out of it.
Rabbi cross court. Oh. So he saw the big fella open, and you can see he's frustrated he didn't hang on to that.
And once again, this is a tough atmosphere to play in. Got to always be ready to receive the ball, and even when you are, sometimes things just may not go your way.
Tough shot from Robinson Apong at the top of the three-point line, but he knocks it down again.
That's an excellent decision there by Apong. Gets the separation he needs. He's already proven he can knock a shot down with a hand in his face over and over again. And he's just a scorer. He's going to keep shooting his way back into a rhythm. And you got to kind of just let him do his thing on those. Just hope he makes the right decision.
In the corner, it looked like a bit of a double movement there from Grabongo. And good challenge, but an even better finish from Okello out on the break.
Okello, his first basket of the game, and he does it in a highlight reel kind of way.
28 points apiece. 30 seconds to go here in the first half.
Uganda doesn't want to surrender that inside paint at this point. They'll let them live with the three-point shot.
Nankio looking for some space. Moves around. It's Cougar taking the three-point shot. It's short.
Excellent defense there.
They got 14 seconds here. They can take the last shot. Don't need to go too quick. Apong stepped out of bounds. It's amazing to me. They lengthened the three-point line. It must be 6, maybe even 7 years ago. And in the corner there, it's only gone out a few centimeters, an inch or two at most. But the amount of players who step out of court now, who never used to step out of court in that spot, just like that. Last few seconds here.
There's a small spot when you have feet their size.
Yeah, is that good? Yes, it is. Jim Rabbi right on the buzzer. The referee says basket is good. And the foul is also called, so he can go to the line for a bonus free throw.
Couldn't ask for a better outcome. Take a look here.
Just got it off in time.
This will be it to close it out.
And it will close it out. And is that it? There's some confusion on the court. Looks like it's halftime.
Ugandan head coach, he wanted them to
lane infringement or something. He was walking towards the locker room, I think. Anyway, we're at the half. Uganda 28, Central African Republic 30.
And a lot to be happy about. Almost an identical score for the Central African Republic at the half with them up. Of course, against Morocco, they were up 33-30. Take a look at the stats here. Pretty even, though.
Yeah, you would expect it to be, given the score line, but it's pretty even all the way down the line. Only 8 turnovers in the game. Fouls a bit of an issue for Uganda, but nothing too significant. Nobody more than 2, and they get a hero's welcome as they go off to the locker room. We'll look back at the highlight plays from a good first half, in which there's not been too much to pick between these two teams, which is kind of what we thought, what we were hoping for coming in. We weren't quite sure how Uganda would react to their 45-minute heartbreak, but after a slow start, they seem to have done all right.
They have, absolutely, and when you consider the fact that Apong, he really is the straw that stirs the drink in Uganda right now as far as his scoring is concerned, and started off a little flat in that second quarter, but really picked it up near the end. A couple of three-pointers, a couple of really impressive jump shots with a hand in his face, and of course, a City, whenever they needed him to step up and make a shot with a hand in his face, he was able to knock those down. And Uganda really, they've kind of formed an identity here of being that kind of a jump shooting team that can make those tough shots, shots that a lot of other teams are not even comfortable trying to attempt to begin with. And that's really a big reason why they've kept themselves in this, despite the fact that they haven't nearly been shooting as well as they did yesterday.
And Central African Republic, of course, dealing without the injured Michael Makongo, who was so important to them in building the lead that they did yesterday. And when he went down, the game went from them a little bit. But Nanafio doing a decent job in the backcourt. He's filled in for a few extra minutes. They've tried to spread it around a little bit, and Samedi as well at the point guard spot. You can see him getting an assist here. And well, it's set up very nicely for the second half here in Dakar. The crowd continuing to build. We're about 3/4 full, but it will be full, I'm sure, by the time this game reaches its conclusion. And the atmosphere, thanks to the Central African Republic fans, has been electric from before the opening tip all the way through to right now, and they continue to sing and dance and blow the horns and bang the drums. And it's their team that leads at the interval by 28 points to 30. And we'll leave you with these final few clips, and we'll be back with the action in about 10 minutes time. not far away from the start of the second half here in Dakar in Senegal. It's day 2 of the group stages of FIBA AfroBasket 2017. We're almost at the halfway point of the group stages. This is the second game, the 6th game of the 12 that will be played here in Senegal, and at the minute there's nothing much between them. We saw a close game first up, which Mozambique beat South Africa in Group D, and we have a close game here between the Central African Republic and Uganda, which Central Africa are just edging by a couple of points. Teams are on court still taking their shots. I'm not quite sure where the referees are, because normally they wave them off with a minute and a half to go, and the clock on the main scoreboard says there's 30 seconds left of halftime.
I'm sure they'll get out soon enough. But in the meantime, we do have a very, very close game here in just about every aspect between both of these teams. Even just get this, the biggest lead of this game has only been 6 points by the Central African Republic. Both teams shooting just under 40% from the field. Both not having such a great day off from the three-point line, both shooting just under 25%. The free throws as well. Uganda not exactly getting to the line as much as you think they would be, considering the fact that they do have a little bit of a size advantage in their front court and even in their back court. And also, to top it all off, Central African Republic, a very notoriously aggressive team on defense. You'd think that they might try and take a little bit more of an advantage of that in this second half. But to your point that you were saying at the beginning of the day, Dan, it just seems like Uganda has just been kind of lacking that energy that they had against Angola last night.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? If they win that game, either in regulation or overtime, it probably boosts their energy stocks, but losing it probably takes more out of it than they expended, if that makes sense.
I think it makes perfect sense when you think of the fact that, you know, I've for the most part, I've been trying to focus on the positives for Uganda, as the Silverbacks should be walking away from a game like that thinking they can beat anyone. But unfortunately, it seems to have had a bit of the opposite effect. But even with that being the factor, the Central African Republic, they've came out and they've handled business so far, as you see the coaching staff trying to go over the game plan for the second half here. But really, Uganda, even though they haven't put out their best effort, they're still only down by 2 points, a very winnable game.
Oh yeah, it's very much in the balance here as the sides make their way back out onto court, well, Uganda at least do. And the fans singing loud, singing proud for their team and making a lot of noise as they take to the floor.
And I think one thing as well that we should point out is the fact that the Central African Republic yesterday seemed incredibly hype on their energy and incredibly aggressive on their defense, and maybe it's actually worked to their advantage. The crowd's behind them, but you don't see them you don't see it really affecting them as much as it did yesterday. You seem a little bit more poised and in control of their own movements, if you will, if that makes sense.
Cougar driving through, has to kick it out. Here he is again. These three rattles out.
And that's a great offensive output there, though. Catch it in rhythm, let it go. He had the space to knock it down. Most of the time, Cougar can knock that one out.
City, quick fire three-pointer is short. Ooh, just out of the reach for a second there of Drabongo, and he doesn't manage to profit at the other end.
You have to see Vigera take a couple more chances though on those moves. You see, it was a long rebound yesterday. If he would have went all after that, and he probably would have gotten himself a second opportunity. But Uganda, regardless, gets away with a good defensive stop. They have a chance to get themselves back into the lead.
Great attack to the basket by Anabu.
Anabu showing what he can do when he puts the ball on the floor.
Nafio waiting for his teammates to run the play. I think they were waiting for him as well. Bugea driving in, nowhere for him to go. But he seems to have got a bang in all of that. Meanwhile, Apongo is going on his own, and Apong draws the foul.
Excellent hesitation there. I don't know if we'll see the replay on the foul, but if you just see the hesitation, we're just seeing the basket here. Excellent finish. And now the crossover right there. Almost every single time, that's going to be a foul. Great job setting up his defender.
City catches the inbound, hands back to Amani, who takes it all the way to the basket for two.
And now this is the Ugandan team we saw a lot in that first quarter against Angola. They're doing a fantastic job of just following their game plan. And once again, this is a very even-keeled team. They don't panic. They really haven't. Even when Angola was making that comeback last night, they were finding ways to score the basket, and it's almost following the same kind of mentality they had during last night's game, where in the first half they were taking a lot of threes. This time around, not making as many, and as a result find themselves in a hole. But now they're kind of getting themselves back to basics. They've set up a 2-3 zone to try and clog the lane, forcing Central African Republic to try and shoot their way ahead while they're still attacking the basket.
Oh, good pass, and there's a foul there as he went to the basket there. It was Nanampio, wasn't it? Yeah, and the foul is on Kalwani.
And Kalwani needs to understand, though, that if he already has his teammate out on that wing covering that offensive player with the ball, he has to make sure that he's still holding his zone. At the end of the day, it's not a man-to-man. You have to watch your part of the floor. It's not all about just watching the ball. Otherwise, he would have had a successful stop there instead of having to foul.
I think his hands are a bit damp there. He's just trying to dry them off, so he gave the ball back to the referee, Lawrence Nanampio, before missing the free throw, and there's a little push in the back by Sydney Pahua, and there's going to be a foul for that. Nabu crosses the halfway line, gets it to Apong, and now City gives it back to him. And again, Apong gets a little inch of space, takes the three.
I'm not a fan of that movement there. The two best players on the floor working together. You always love to see that as the ball gets knocked out of bounds there by a City. But if it didn't work the first two times, I think on the third time they've kind of got an idea of what's going on. If anything, Apong should have tried to do a little hesitation and then attack to the rim, maybe find another person out.
Bugea's three doesn't go. City pulls down the defensive rebound, and Moni's leaked out. I think that touched him last. Yes, it did.
Yep.
So
easy call.
Central Africa get it back.
It's one thing we're seeing here. Not a lot of successful plays on the long pass. Teams are getting out. It just seems like the ball's moving a little bit slower than what you're used to seeing, because the defense has always had an opportunity, or maybe it's just a testament to the athleticism of all these defenses in this tournament.
Grabongo. Samadi. Trying to get it into Bugeaua, and I think Amani had a little hold of him, and he's called for the foul, so it'll be an end-line ball once again.
Central Africans still have yet to score in this quarter. 3 minutes now. Let's see if they can get it here.
Samadi. Pahua backing down. Little double take. Good head fake, and he got fouled.
Excellent job.
And he's going to get two shots. It was just a question of whether he was going up or it was still a head fake. The referee says he was shooting that.
It's Masidi there that kind of pulled Anabu to the side and said, hey, you've got the help here. Unfortunately, actually, sorry, it was Kawani that committed the foul. Masidi telling him, you have to try and stay on your feet and watch out for those head fakes.
Well, he had the chance to potentially tie the game, but he Won't do now, but he can cut the lead to 1 and give his team their first point of the second half, which is what he does.
A testament, though, to Uganda. They kind of learned from their mistake from that previous foul by allowing each teammate to kind of take on their own man and not get baited into on the help and just a quick switch, because Central African Republic were feasting off of that kind of play in the second quarter, getting points on the board.
Jimrabai called for slightly too aggressive defense as he jumped out on the switch. Thought he could knock the ball loose, but referee called him for it.
Jimrabai, a definite leader on this team.
Nabu round the screen, has a little bit of space, a little stop and go to the finger roll. Nice move.
What a finish, and Jimrabai is upset with himself there. He knows he couldn't let him get by him like that, but just a great play.
And Grabongo says, anything you can do, I can do too. Takes it to the rack for another 2. He's been very effective in this game at doing that. City lets fly from 3-point range.
I think that's the first time we've seen a City miss 2 shots in a row.
Pahua called for the foul on the rebound, just a little push in the back. So Uganda will keep possession of the ball.
Fans, they're still going. Incredible atmosphere here.
Oh, just a little slip. Kept his dribble though. Apongo got it back to a City. They're scrambling a little bit. There's still 8 seconds on the shot clock. Amani doesn't need them. Did it hit the ring? I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. It went out of bounds. Might have at the very front just nipped the ring.
It's one thing we've been seeing is the slip there. Gets the ball. Still able to get it away though. But one thing we've been seeing consistently, Dan, is every single time that there's been any kind of scramble on the floor, it just seems like whenever there's anyone else gets the ball, they just automatically just want to go, 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 and not really recognize just how much time they still have to create something. Sometimes it's just better to hold the ball, take a quick look, especially if you have the space.
Grabongo, sorry.
No, it's okay. Not a lot of patience shown is what I'm basically just trying to say.
Enough, yeah. Included by me, I jumped into Grabongo. It's stolen away by Okela. Apong loads of space. You almost expect him to make that one, but it didn't go. Jimrabai has it. Forward comes Samadi. Long rebound comes out to Grabongo, to the spin off the glass. Nice move.
And the reason that Central African Republic even get that rebound is nobody was prepared to receive the ball off the rim. A lot of guys were caught kind of with their feet standing together, a little bit off balance, and the ball hit one of the Ugandan players in the head there.
Apong, well, his radar is slightly off at the moment, and Nabu commits the foul.
And Apong, he is their sharpshooter on this team, though, and you can see teammates walking over to him, giving him a quick high five, telling him, hey, don't worry about it. We need you to be on to win this game. We're still only down by 1 as you're looking at the replay here. Great finish at the rim there. That was Grabongo, and what a game he's had, Dan.
He's been really effective taking it to the basket. That one was actually a little further out than most of his scores in the first half, but very effective still. Big 2-3 zone here, very wide, the 2 at the top. So the gap should be there, and somebody tries to fill it, but he's tried the quick outlet, it was stolen away. Here is Grabongo going straight at it again. Ball is loose. It's still not obtained. Grabongo has it. Who with the rebound, maybe go, oh, he got a great pass. Super assist. It looked like he needed to recycle out, but he saw something the rest of us didn't, and that was Grabongo underneath.
Unbelievable find there. And that's just the effort and the work. And here's another one.
Stolen away to the basket. 2 quick scores, and the noise level go up here in Dakar, and it's the Central African Republican fans who are dancing and singing, and well they might, as their team has opened a little bit of daylight here with 4 minutes to go in the period and a 5-point lead.
And what a find there under the basket. That's what got it all started, but let's take it back just a couple of sets before that. As you see, specifically, Pagay, as you see a timeout here for Uganda, Pagay going up and trying to block a shot that he had no business blocking, leaves himself completely out of position, allowing the Central African Republic guard to bring it back down. He's now getting swamped by a bunch of three shirts. Of course, the FIBA World Cup coming up soon, but we're going to take it back just a couple of shots before that amazing assist we saw under the basket as Pagao tried to go up and block a shot he had no business trying to block, came back down, but that's the space that allowed the Central African Republic guard to bring the ball down, and now he was being draped by three different white shirts, and all the Silverbacks were out of position, and as he was going up, he sees who else but Grabongo right under the basket for what has been easily the assist of the tournament so far.
It was a great find because he had to throw it past two defenders at short notice. So, third quarter, less than 4 to go. 5 points between the teams. He's going to the basket, jams it home.
And that's how you make up for it. Time and again, Uganda, every time that they've made a mistake in this tournament, they've came right back and corrected it with authority. Pagay, excellent finish, throws it down.
Rebound as well for the big fella. Oh, it just bobbled out of the hand of Okello there. That's why he couldn't get the basket to go. On it from the elbow. Long rebound finds its way into the grateful hands of Grabongo.
Not a bad shot, but if I were the Ugandan coaching staff, I think I want to see a little bit more attacking the rim now, trying to assert their authority. The high percentage shots. It's what they look like they're going to need right now.
Rabbi driving in and slightly off balance, throws it out of bounds.
Rabbi, though, excellent take, recognizing a defender had his right hand in his face, decides to go left, showing that he can get there if he needs to. And let's see that very impressive throwdown by Pagay. I think he might have heard me talking.
2:45 left in the third. It's stolen away. Great work from Cougar. Round to Samadi. Samadi in with the big boys, forced to recycle it out.
Great ball movement, though. Excellent decision.
Cougar recovers his dribble.
Oh, there you go.
He is wide open for three. Front rims it though. And Opong with the rebound.
Despite the miss, an excellent offensive set for the CAR, excuse me, the Central Africans.
Nice crossover from Anabu, and he forces somebody into fouling him.
There's a rebound, nice crossover there, but a necessary foul, if you will, by Samadi. You can't just allow a simple layup to go in like that. He's got the fouls to give at this point. You want to make it as difficult as possible, make them earn it at the line, because the line has been the bane to the existence of almost every team in this tournament so far. Almost every time you're guaranteed just 1 point instead of 2. And if teams continue to recognize that, especially if they have fouls to give, you have every reason in the world to keep playing physical defense.
Nabu, there you go. keeping up that streak. And hearing it from the fans behind the basket.
Interesting decision. He's
Whoa, look how high got up in the air there to grab that
rebound. Sorry about that. It's just an interesting fact. Nabu, a couple feet behind the free throw line there.
Well, you don't have to stand at it if you find a comfortable distance.
And he still made it long.
Long bringing it forward. Here he is again. Shooting numbers pretty similar. A couple more makes and 5 more takes.
Oh, wow.
And here's another two-handed throwdown.
What a find. They just caught the Central Africans sleeping on defense there. Excellent find. And one thing you have to admire about both of these teams, though, is that they run their offenses so smoothly. The Central Africans, even without their starting point guard in Makondo, they're still doing an excellent job here finding open shots.
That's not a great shot. Marnie comes up with the rebound.
I said create, not make.
Yeah. Here's a chance for Kuzangi out on the break. He dumps it off, and Kugari's there to throw it down.
Little hang time Jordan there as Kaguri came up like it was going to be a layup, but the last second switched his hand around. That's one of the more impressive athletic things I've seen here.
Almost stolen away, but now there's only 4 defenders back, which leaves Kaviri open in the corner for 3.
And Kaviri picked a heck of a time to take his first shot of the game. Give him 3 on the day.
41-41 the score. Quarter and some change to go in this game. Don't need to go yet. It's gone a bit early here. Kicks it back out to Kusangi.
See if they can create something here. Last shot.
Oh, Jumaba doesn't want it all the way out there. That's a massive heave. And there's still a chance to throw it from half court. Didn't get it off in time. Front rimmed it anyway from Otim. Well, it was in the balance at halftime. It's still in the balance here with 10 minutes to go. We are level at 41 points apiece.
What an impressive display we just saw from both teams. Uganda, full credit goes to them after letting the Central African Republic going on a bit of a run there and then just responding with some crisp passes and plays. There's that athletic move there that we saw from Kagiri. And what a game we have, Dan.
Yep, 41 apiece. Whoever wins the next 10 minutes wins the game. Well, the coaches having their say. We'll have a look at the stats, and unsurprisingly, not a great deal in it. The difference with those extra 3-pointers going in for Uganda is the extra 3-throw attempts, at least, by Central Africa, but 31% is not getting it done in 13 attempts.
Not at all, not at all. This is going to be...
Well, it's a busy day of live international basketball around the world. We've got games going on here, games going on in Tunisia, in Istanbul. They've got the last 16 happening of the EuroBasket with France out, Germany through, Slovenia through. Italy looked on course last I checked. And well, here it's hard to tell who's going to win this group game in Group B, because it's tied at 41 with 10 minutes to play.
And what a game this is going to finish out to be. And I think it's safe to say at this point, though, whoever comes up on the short end is going to be absolutely heartbroken, as both of these teams, they've been involved in 2 close games to begin with in this tournament, and now here they are in another one. But whoever wins this is going to make themselves very dangerous moving on to the next round, presumably, just because of the road it took for them to get here.
A City way off the mark. His three-point shooting has not been as good today as it was yesterday. But there's time yet for the big fella to have a big impact.
That's for sure.
Here he is again. And they try the three-point range. Oh my goodness, thrown out by Kazangri. He just said no.
What a rejection that was.
Kawani taking it to the hole. Yes, he needed some help, but it went in.
That's a big finish there for Kawani. That's his first point in quite some minutes. Just taking it, but we've seen him now time and again take advantage of that late rotation from the Central Africans, going right to the hoop, and he's just using his length to his advantage.
Uga with some space. He knew that was off the mark, because as soon as it left his hand, he went chasing the rebound, and unfortunately for him, it didn't hit the ring, which meant it neither came back to him nor did it reset the shot clock, and we get a shot clock violation.
And Kagiri's got to be as frustrated as he is at that specific set of events. He's had a very good game, been a big factor for the Central Africans so far.
The City with a good offensive rebound off the miss from Kaviri.
That's just old man strength right there, getting up and after it. He's got slightly longer arms than who was boxing him out, number 8, Grabongo. Grabongo, though, he makes up for it with his athleticism, but his City just got the better of him that time, and also the veteran wherewithal to just keep the ball high and then get a shot off. He knew there was so much contact, he was going to get a foul at some point, and now he's going to go to the line for 2.
Well, he doesn't make the first. Free throws very much an issue. I suppose if neither team are making them, sort of evens itself out.
It does, but as a coaching staff, it'll drive you insane knowing that just a couple extra free throws here and there. I mean, it was the reason Uganda was even forced to go to overtime with Angola. A lot of those missed free throws near the end. I'm going to sound like a broken record for the rest of the group stages, though, until teams start knocking them down.
I think there was only one team in the 70s yesterday, wasn't there? Yeah.
And that was Angola.
With the possession.
Lo and behold, the team that's down by 20 makes their free throws.
Got up in the air before he decided what he was going to do with it, Grabongo.
Yeah. Uganda, though, making the necessary rotations there to clog up the passing lane. He ran out of options, it seemed.
Well, in a game where the leads have not been very big, there's a chance for Uganda to take a 5-point advantage, which would feel pretty big if they could, but they can't. Kagere with the rebound.
You can see the Central African fans are even at this point a lot quieter now.
Yeah, there are a few anxious-looking faces. They'll get up if this goes in, but it doesn't. But an offensive rebound from Grabongo, and he'll go and take a couple of free throws. Yeah, most of the drumming and music is actually coming from the band section of the Senegal fans, who are in a little early ahead of their team's matchup against Egypt, which is next on the slate today. But before that, we've got some pretty tasty action going out on the floor right now. In fact, I can see Georgia Deng sat down just in front of us, 10, 15 rows in front, having a conversation with the great and the good. The administration in African basketball. And he's just shaking hands. I think he's off now, is he? As I've said that. But eyes revert to the court where Bongo has taken the second free throw. 2 of 7, 2 of 8 now as a team. 8's not very many, but 2 is very few. That's it. Shot clock down to 2. He's got to fire this one up. Doesn't hit the ring, doesn't matter. They get the defensive rebound. Gera's on his own kind of, so he slows down and backs out. Oh, good hands to knock it loose from Otim.
That was a big turnover right there. The Central Africans got to stop, had an opportunity to at least make it one possession and at best tie the game up. It's going to be these little things now that are going to decide it.
He's going for it. It's a tough shot.
That is a big bucket by a big man. Whole lot of human going towards the basket there. Makes it count.
5-point Ugandan lead. And it's wiped off 2 of them straight away through Jim Rabai.
There we go, Uganda now. They've got this experience though. That experience against Angola could be paying off right now. The importance of holding on to a lead when a team's making a charge. They're taking care of every possession. Waiting for the
on the switch, gets it back to Otim. Here he is in the corner. No, didn't get it off in time.
That's the only downside though. When you're trying to set up a play, you got to know just how much time is left on that clock to try and give yourself a chance. And the Central Africans have to feel good about that one, as there's a few substitutions now. They have to feel good about that stop. They're giving themselves every single chance to get themselves right back into this and take the lead. You said it earlier, Dan. It just feels like 3 points just seems so much bigger than what it actually is, just based on how this game has went.
Well, there's a chance for them to take it to 1, maybe even tie the game here. Gary has a city in front of him. He does try and tie the game. He does tie the game. We're all level at 46.
And that wakes up the Central African faithful as Kagere makes his 3rd 3 of this game. Couldn't have picked a better time to do it.
There's a holding foul, and Goy realizing City was heading to the basket, and he couldn't allow that to happen, so he picked up his first foul. Here it is. Big shot at an important time.
How fitting. Usually it's City the one that's making those shots with a hand in his face. Unfortunately, he was on the receiving end for the Ugandans.
And Abu to reply with a triple of his own. He's batted out. Tim thought about the 3, gives it to Ositi from the mid-range, and on cue he knocks it down.
City, every time you give him that kind of space, he's shown just how clutch. There is such a thing as a clutch gene, and City has it.
Babu. There again from behind the arc, he banks it in!
And Kagere showing he's got the gene himself.
Well, an element of luck to bank it in from the top of the 3-point line, but they all count on the scoreboard as Kawani can't convert. And Central Africa, who lead by a point, can add to that here.
That's going to hurt him.
3 in a row, perhaps. No, he loses the handle as well. It's 3-on-2. Play on, says the referee, and Abu draws the foul from Fabu, and they all shoot a couple.
And Fabu putting the hand up saying, yep, give me that one. I'd rather him do that than get a layup. And this is going back to players that don't have a lot of fouls to their name. The importance at this point of not allowing any easy buckets. You've only got 4.5 minutes left anyway. It's very unlikely that he's going to pick up 3 more fouls in that time unless it's for unless it stays like this right to the very end.
Well, of course, there's always the element of overtime as well. We had that last night involving Uganda.
Once again, this is just the downside. He's 0 for 3 on his free throws. Finally makes the fourth one.
Ties the game at 49. There's 4:23 to go. And Amphia trying to go inside. He telegraphed that pass a little bit. Ositi out in front. Ositi is caught. And it's deflected out of bounds. He'll get to keep it.
And Kagiri's trying to state his case, saying that it went off of City's leg, but the referee will have none of it. And once again, as there's going to be a timeout called here, yeah, that was just not a very smart pass. It just kind of looked like he actually stared just directly at Dijan Rabai, excuse me, before doing a complete two-hand pass right towards. And you don't want to try and do that between two hands of the Ugandan defense. Once again, we've said it at length just how long and athletic this Ugandan squad is, even almost arguably a little bit longer than the Central Africans. And that post defense that was so important in keeping the Angolans in check and limiting their opportunities and second chance points yesterday has came up big yet again and given the Central Africans something to think about.
Well, Apong's still leading Uganda with 13 points, but did most of his work early on. We haven't seen much of him of late. Can he come up big down the stretch for his team?
It's going to be very interesting to see. As you can see, the Central Africans now going over their strategy on defense. Really, just more than anything, the Ugandans, they are most likely going to get a shot off. You just have to make sure that you're not going to give them 2 or 3 chances to get a shot off. Just stay in front of them, keep a hand in their face. This is just going to come down to will. Who wants the ball more and who wants to take care of it. It's going to get messy, it's going to get rough. As we're looking at the replay there, Kagiri.
Well, he's a rebound away from a double-double, and that was a big shot that he hit here. Back to the action. Here is Apong. Can he light it up straight away? Not quite. That was a long three that almost dropped for him. 4 minutes to play, folks. And as we were at the start of the game, the scores are level. Fabu trying to do something about it, and he does with the triple.
What a shot. And Fabu, after taking the foul, comes up big. But once again, this is something we've seen from the Central Africans. Every time they have a big play that goes for them throughout this tournament, they usually come right back with either a foul or a turnover. Now, in that specific case, it's not as damaging as it has been in the past. You want to stay physical and not get Uganda comfortable. But now Uganda has a chance to set something up again.
And Abu goes the opposite way to the screen, drives in, and chance to level the game again. And it goes a begging as the shot from Imani doesn't drop, and Gary pulls in the rebound.
Imani didn't look like he got a good chance, a good hand on the ball there before he let it go.
And Amphi around the screen keeps going to the runner off the glass, too strong with it, ball is loose. Jim Robert in there trying to come up with it. And it will be possession for the Central Africans.
Here it is, the physicality of the Central Africans, awarding them another chance to extend their lead.
24-second violation. I must admit, I didn't think to look at the clock either.
There's just so much going on right now, so much drama. The shot clock has faked us all out.
Big screen from City, and Marnie has it now, back to Boo. Here's Opong putting it on the floor. There's a reaching foul there. And Amphio called for it. That'll be the 5th, I believe, on his team.
Not a foul.
Will be 2 free throws.
Yeah, that one, you know, we've talked in detail about the importance of some of these fouls right now to kind of slow down the momentum, but that's not one of them right there. You don't want to give up, if you're going to give up a foul, make it an aggressive one there. That was just kind of like a haphazard, let me reach my arm out. You're better off just staying with him and seeing him take some more physical contact in the paint and most likely miss the layup, to be perfectly honest, because that's just the way this game has been flowing.
Well, the free throws haven't exactly been firing, but he does make the first.
But unfortunately, you got to also remember who you're guarding, because Opong has been the only player in this game that has been consistent from the charity stripe.
And he does make them both. It's back to 1.
He's the only player on this floor you do not want to foul in this situation.
Jamabai has to kick it out. Nice aggressive attempt, but too aggressive. But there's Jamabai to put it back in.
He's got to feel good about himself on that one there, just being in the right time. That's the basketball gods just giving him something there.
And Nabu with a little stop and go gets it back. The Geese is pushed in the back by Fabu. All these fouls now will mean free throws. And he goes to the line having not been there yet today.
Geese 0 for 4.
That's from the floor rather than the free throw line.
Let's see if he can get one here. He cannot. Once again, at this point, if you're the Ugandan coaching staff, you almost want to just make sure Opong has the ball and taking it to the hoop every time.
Right, he does make the second one.
That is a big shot, though. I think Uganda will take any points they can get at this stage. They've been hard to come by in this fourth quarter.
Gary inside to Jumrabe with the fall away, and there was a little touch foul on that, so he's going to get a couple of free throws as well.
Interesting decision there. It's one of those situations, but you know, full credit goes to Jumrabe. He knows what he is. He's an extremely physical player in the post, and I think at that point, Pagay wasn't expecting him to just fade away. He was expecting some body contact, and of course, add in the fact how much he loves to shove around in the paint against his opponents before he receives the ball. It kind of just gets the defenders a little bit cagey when he goes up for a shot.
Well, they can't make that one, so there's still 3 points between them with 2 minutes to go, but Uganda, who trail, have the ball. Here's the City. Amani driving along the baseline, knocked out of bounds. Uganda keep hold of the ball with 7 on the shot clock.
I'll be honest, I don't think, as we're looking at this replay here, nice knockout there, great defensive play, but Uganda, they don't necessarily have the blazing quick first step to attack the baseline like that. You'd want to try and avoid that as much as you can. Try and keep the ball moving up at the perimeter at the top. See if you can get an open shot.
Toss back to Opong. Spins out of trouble. Still going. Still has it. Fires up under all sorts of pressure. Kugea wants it. Kugea gets it. Almost loses it. Does lose it. Opong gets it back. Ositi is open. Ositi to tie it. No. Kugea this time has control of it. Does he? He gets it out. Oh no, they've turned it over again, have they? Football violation. Central Africa will have it. Well, they just couldn't get out of their own half there.
They couldn't. It's going to be a timeout here now. Much needed, and Uganda has to be frustrated after that set. They had so many opportunities to get one in. Just a bit rushed though. And kudos to the Central African defense. Just all over the Ugandans. As soon as the ball's put on the floor, they are not giving them an inch. And the shots, the open looks that the Ugandans were getting, especially in that third quarter, have all but evaporated. And the Ugandans are, in a way, they're kind of being forced to play the Central African style of play right now, just getting physical and going to the basket. And you could see Opong there making a bit of a mistake by trying to initiate the contact going in. As you're looking at some of the scoring right now, Nigiri with 14, Grabongo with 14, Dijon Rabai with 10. And it's going to be a Central African possession. They've got a very real chance at this point with just 1:21 to go to make this lead just a little bit more insurmountable.
Well, we've been saying it all the way through that in a game where the biggest lead has been 6, to be 5 points up is a lot. And if they can get one score here, if nothing else, you force the other team into needing to score twice.
And one thing we still haven't seen really is the Ugandans light up from behind the arc, something that gave them such a huge lead against Angola. It just hasn't existed in this game.
Oh, they've turned it over. And Anabu kicks it out long to Apong. Apong, oh, good challenge, and it doesn't go in. We're inside the final minute. Central Africa needs to take some air out of the ball. You're not in any rush. Fortunately, Jimrabe realizes that. And now the shot clock's down to the final 10 they have to go. Nice pass, Jimrabe inside, he loses it again, another stop. 35 seconds to go. Oh, it's tipped loose.
Someone's got to let him know that he's coming.
Oh, that pass is a bit high as well.
Oh, why the rush? Why the rush?
Oh, he gets the score. And it's down to 1. They need a foul. They can't let time run out. They need a foul. They have to stop the clock. But they've stolen it away. Amani, Anabu, Apong, big shot. Oh no, he rips out. Fabu, does he get the rebound? Yes, he does, and now they do foul him. No, it's a jump ball. It's a jump ball. Which way is the arrow pointing? It's pointing Uganda. Wow.
No, it's pointing Central Africa, or is it?
Well, the referee's pointing towards Uganda possession with 6.8 seconds to go. Timeout is called. It's a 1-point game. You saw just about everything you could imagine in the last 30 seconds.
Unbelievable. But guy, look at the replay here. Just gets this, well, it looks like there. That's a, I mean, jump ball. He's calling it. There were hands on the ball. That is a fact. And Pagai on a one-man mission to make me look foolish.
And succeeding. The question here now is, can Uganda get the ball in? There's the top scorers in the game. Apong with 15, Asiti with 10. Apologies for a slight technical error there, but we're back. Can they get the ball into a teammate and not turn it over, and then got to hang on to it because a foul is coming soon?
And it is Central African ball.
Sungwe,
you're gonna have to foul.
Will inbound. Got to get it in first. Kugea gets it, the foul is coming, and the foul is there. It's a good one because it only allowed about a second off the clock. Oh, they've still got fouls to give, I didn't notice.
Yep,
that's kind of blocked. Yeah, they've still got to do it 2 more times. Nightmare. 3 more times, in fact, to get to free throws.
And who knows, though, they might
run
different
the
rebounds.
Yeah.
We've seen everything.
There we go. Lost half a second there.
I'm saying, though, if you have at least one more, you still have one more chance even to just steal it. And someone, as soon as someone gets the ball, though, you have to have either Anabu or Apong just sprint for dear life down the floor.
Kugea is fouled, and it's down to 3.4. That was a good one for Central Africa because that lost a second and a half.
It did.
Now they're at the limit.
What a game this has been. Start to finish. Biggest lead, 6 points. Biggest lead for Uganda was 2.
Well, Uganda have used all their timeouts, so if he makes the second one, they've got to go live. And you can see coach screaming. He's saying, come here, let me tell you what to do. I don't think they can hear him. Now Inabu does come running. Wow, drama here.
There's no timeouts left either, so.
The first one is good for Max Kubert.
The Central Africans like what they hear.
The man who plays his basketball in France with Antibes. 30-year-old experienced player at this level makes them both. They need a quick three, and Nabu's going to have to heave it from inside his own half. He gets it off, it doesn't go! And Central African Republic have won, and the fans behind the basket are going wild. Look at them, they're loving it. What a tremendous performance from their team.
Excellent, excellent effort from the Central Africans from start to finish. Imposing their will in the paint, imposing their will on the perimeter. What an effort from both teams, but on this day, it's the Central Africans that do not have to wonder, what if?
Well, Uganda will be devastated. They've been beaten here 54 points to 57, thanks to those last two free throws. And the Central African Republic, their fans are going wild behind the basket. The players taking it all in their stride, but a tremendous effort for them, particularly when you bear in mind that Makongo didn't play, out injured with that knee problem. We don't know, well, we're not expecting him to be back in this tournament with the games coming every day, but they managed to overcome that, did really well in the backcourt. The numbers on the day, well, the three-point shooting wasn't great, the free throw shooting wasn't great, but the drama and the tension throughout. This was a game where neither team could really build a massive lead. Any momentum was quickly snatched back, and it just went back and forth.
Absolutely, and I think the ultimate story for the Ugandans would be if they just gotten their three-point shooting a little bit, as you're seeing the Central African team showing their love to all of the support that they got, that they have gotten throughout this tournament so far, and they are not going home just yet. The fans will still have a little bit of something more to cheer about by tomorrow. And as you can see, some of the players now shaking their hands, showing some love.
Babu is in there, and Goy is in there. The fans are loving that. The flags are waving. And as we take a look back at some of the plays of the day, what a cracking matchup it has been between these two teams. It's been a great day so far. Two really hotly contested battles, both of which came down to the final few plays. And you have to kind of feel for Uganda. A break or two here or there, they could be 2-0, and they're 0-2.
Exactly, absolutely, and really, and you also consider the fact that they've just done such an amazing job. They are easily the best 0-2 team that we've seen, that we will see in this tournament at this point. Just an absolutely flawless offense that they run. Just although the Central Africans, you got to give them credit. They were really, as there's an amazing find. That was almost a turning point right there for the Central Africans, able to get a shot off there. And you're just seeing the way that their offense is running here. Great response there, just finding the open man, continuously moving the ball around, never really taking a bad shot. They're playing basketball, they're playing the game the right way more than anything, and you just hate to see a team that's dropped two close games like that and play as well as they have. They deserve all the credit in the world for the effort that they've put out here, but unfortunately the tape is going to say that they are 0-2.
It sure is, and the celebrations, I'm sure, will go long into the night for the fans of the Central African Republic. Well, to be fair, they've been jumping up and down and bouncing from long before the game, and I'm sure they will do long after the game. And they've just had a great time and a great game and a tremendous finish, and it was nice to see Kagere make those two free throws. We spent the whole game talking about them. He had some big shots as well, including that one at the top of the key. They all count, even if you bank them in from the top. He played really well, life and energy right from the beginning. And, well, we thought this might be one of the shots to somehow squeeze Uganda to victory, but it wasn't to be, and that was how they celebrated at the end. And that certainly the highlight play as far as those fans were concerned here today. And the Central African Republic have got a win here at FIBA AfroBasket 2017. They are now 1-1 in this group. And Uganda, unfortunately, having coming so close to beating Angola in the first game and so close to winning this one, have ended up with nothing. And even that last shot wasn't too far away. But that's it for this game. Join us again later. Senegal are in action. Angola 2 later on tonight. But for now, we'll say goodbye.